Tina, hi. Wait, the door.
Oh, silly, we're safe. I just checked with the staff up at the main house. As far as Vicky and everybody else knows, we never even left town last night, much less got married in Vegas.
Tina, never say the M word, okay? Even when we're alone, all right?
Well, we got a little problem. Cord followed us to Vegas, remember? He knows you're only pretending to be my brother. If he finds out why you're pretending...
He won't, okay? Tina, he can't. We've got to keep Cord from going public, or else he... Oh, God, I knew somebody was going to find out.
Yeah, relax. That's probably CJ and Sarah wanting you to build him a snowman, I bet. Cord. Hi.
Hi.
I was just about to come look for you.
Oh, good. Well, then it looks like I saved you a little trouble. I thought you might want to tag along when I tell Vicky about your marrying brother David.
We just wanted to let Vicky know that we were thinking about her, about all of you, and we know that this is a very sad time for all of you.
Yeah, especially Mom. She's been up all night. I saw the light underneath her door, and I could hear her pacing.
Well, that's only natural, Jess. When somebody loves someone the way your mom loves Sloan. Jess? What is it, honey?
I'm worried about her. I mean, ever since Sloan died, she's been different. Not just sad, different. Like she's sick inside or something.
Sweetheart, grief does that to a person.
No, you don't understand. It's something else, deep down inside, and she won't tell me what it is.
Forget about her, Victor. I'm here now. I'm all you ever needed.
Stay out of this, Irene. Go away!
Why, Vicky? We love each other. There's no room for you here now.
Take your hands off my father!
It's too late, darling. You've already lost your father. Victoria Lord, guilty of the murder of your father, Victor, and sentence you to death.
I didn't kill him.
But you wished him dead. We both know that. And we both know why. Say it. Say it. Say it.
Why do I keep having the same horrible dream over and over again? Why? Yes, hello. This is Victoria Carpenter speaking. May I speak with Dr. Oltl, please? Well, no, I mean, it's not an emergency. It's important, though. Thanks. Oh, my God, it's after 10 o'clock. I have to get up. I have to go and... Larry? Oh, hi, yeah. No, I mean, I told you, nurse, it wasn't serious. It's, well, I mean, I'd kind of like to talk to you about a personal matter. That's all. Do you think that you could pay a house call on an old friend?
Cord, you can't do that to Vicky.
To you, you mean?
Cord, look, you're not the only person that cares about Vicky here, okay?
Was I talking to you? I don't remember talking to you.
No, she's my sister and I love her.
Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you jumped in the sack with your brother.
He's not my brother.
I know what he's not, Tina, but I do know what he is. He's a liar and a fake, and Vicky deserves to know about it. Now, if you want to pretend that this man loves you, that he cares about you, that he's going to look out for you and not try to get something out of your family, fine, Tina. You believe that. You throw your life away, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let you do that to our kids again or to Vicky.
Look, Cord, you are way out of line
I'm going to count
okay?
to 5, and then I'm going to drop you.
Fine. I may have bent the truth a little bit here and there, all right? But my love for Tina is the real thing.
Okay,
and anybody
stop
that says...
it. Just stop. Look, David, Cord has every right to be suspicious. He just doesn't know you like I know you. And Cord, hey, can you and I go somewhere really quiet, just you and me? There's a lot of things you just don't know about. What do you think?
No, Tina, I don't want you talking to him.
All right, Tina. I'd actually like to hear what you've got to say. But I got to tell you, I don't believe you're capable of telling the truth anymore.
Just go get the car and I'll be right out, okay?
Tina, no way.
You said we have to keep him quiet. Maybe if we tell him, that way he won't find out.
Tina, if we tell him the truth, he will twist it. Oh, God. Look, as soon as you tell him I had to lie about being your brother, Tina, he's going to find out about the $27 million from Victor's estate.
So I won't tell him about the money then.
Tina, what if he tries to trick it out of you? He was married to you 3 times, Tina. He knows how to push your buttons.
He won't. We'll just tell him what you and I worked out, just to cover all the white lies, okay?
What if he doesn't buy it?
He will. I know how to push his buttons, too, you know.
God.
And as far as him turning me against you, honey, that could never happen. You and I will just always work things. Oh, that's him. Let's go.
Just, no, wait.
No, I love you. Just trust me, okay?
Tina, I do trust you. Hello?
Why, David, I caught you in. What a surprise. I thought you'd have your money by now and be on your way to the Costa del Sol.
There's been a slight change of plans.
I don't like changes, especially when they affect the quality of my life.
Look, Dorian, I do not want to talk about this on the phone, okay? I'll come over, I'll explain the whole thing to you.
You better.
Great, David, out of the frying pan, right into the fire.
Oh? Laura. Nobody told me you were here.
It's my fault,
Oh,
Mom.
it's nobody's fault. We didn't want to disturb you.
Disturb me? Gracious, but I've been up for hours. I've just been upstairs sort of puddling around, that's all. Oh, my, what beautiful flowers.
They're for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Jessie, honey, I know you don't have any school today, but didn't you have some big test you were going to study for?
It's just biology. I'll stay here with you.
Just biology? I think you'd be better off to go over to your friend Annie's and study the way you were going to. I'm all right, sweetheart. Really, I am. Okay? Do it for me.
Okay. I'll go. Bye, Uncle Bo. Laura.
So long, kiddo.
Thanks.
Oh, she's lovely.
Yes, thank you, she is. I guess I have to work on her entertaining skills. She didn't offer you coffee or anything?
No, Vicky, we just wanted to be here for you, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's lovely.
We were sorry that we weren't able to be here.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. You had to be in Chicago, didn't you? You know, I looked at the banner this morning, actually. Apparently, you did one whale of a job for Hank.
Well, that was just Nora's brilliant legal work.
Oh, it wasn't. It was Beau's brilliant detective work.
Oh, good. It was the two of you, then. You did it together. Well, that's the way it should be. People should work together.
Affirmative, 1076. Nothing in sight here. Well, what can I say, Mahoney? Zip. Unless you count the homeless guy that went by a little while ago collecting cans. Watch your back. 10-4. How's the coffee?
It's glacial.
Get used to it.
Oh, come on, Andy. You can't always be like this. Right?
Right. Some days it's really boring.
Okay, so backing up a stakeout isn't exactly a scene out of Lethal Weapon. It's still interesting.
It is?
Well, yeah. You know, I mean, this is a real deal. This is the law in action.
What kind of stuff did you study in law school?
Oh, don't get me wrong. You know, I mean, law school for some people, it can be a big thrill. Well, like my ex-girlfriend, Rachel Gannon, that's how she is with it. For me, totally bloodless. One semester in, I had to get out of there.
Smart guy. Gives up the cushy life of a Landry lawyer to a squad car staring at a warehouse, sipping cold coffee. Must be nice.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. I mean, don't stop there.
Okay. You get into law school, it's the chance of a lifetime for most people. You decide to try it, it's not for you, quit. Decide to give it a try at newspaper work.
Uh-huh. So, I'm a dilettante, is that it? Rich kid from the big house up in the hill. Never had to stick with anything, is that it?
Silver spoon fits.
You know, just hold on a second. I've been hearing that stuff all of my life. It's always from people like you who don't know me at all. Oh, why is it, Annie, that people are so quick to judge when you don't know a damn thing about me?
You know, these flowers, I think they'd look so lovely in that small table on the foyer. I'll be right back.
Vicky, I'm gonna miss Sloan, too. I owe him my life. You remember? When I lost Sarah and I thought there was nothing else to live for. Sloan crawled out on that ledge to help me. He risked his life to save mine. He's quite a guy.
Yes, he was. Excuse me.
And he loved you, Vicky, I know that. He absolutely adored you, and it's only natural that you feel lost and lonely without Sloan now.
I know.
Vicky, is there something else? Is there something you're not telling me?
No. No, there's nothing else. Thank you for being so understanding.
Listen, divorce or no divorce, you're family to me, and you always will be. You expecting more visitors?
There's some strange man out here. He says he's the family doctor.
Oh, funny. Vicky, I told Nora if she wouldn't mind getting her errant roommate out of the way, I could visit with my favorite patient. You don't mind, do you, Commissioner?
Not a bit. No, Red and I were just leaving anyway, okay? Vicky, if you need anything at all, I want you to call me.
I'll do that. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thanks, Nora. Bye.
Take good care of her, Larry.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Well, you called me, you wanted me to come over. Why?
Larry, I need help.
Hey, Kevin, there's no need to get defensive.
Oh, there isn't? Well, you were attacking me, and you were labeling me, and I don't like it. I don't like it when people decide who I am because of the size of my family's bank account or where I went to school or any of that stuff. That's not me. I don't play polo, I don't go clubbing, and I don't play careers.
Okay. Who are you?
I don't know. Sort of a work in progress, I guess. You know, it wasn't very long ago that I just wanted completely out of that privileged world that I come from. You know? And I made a lot of mistakes.
Like what?
Oh, like getting married too young. Having a son I never see anymore. He lives in Texas with his mom. I just figured she'd do a better job raising him, and then I started dating Rachel, and you know, I really got to admire her dad, because well, lawyers can make such a difference in the world, you know? I mean, they can change things for the better. And there've never been a lawyer.
Except that law school was a drag.
Yeah. But you know, at least I realized that I don't want to break away from my family. And I think maybe that means that I'm finally growing up.
And now it's time to take over the family newspaper, huh?
Yeah. Time to learn what my grandfather did and what my mother and father do. Yeah. So if you want to make fun of me for changing my mind, well, you know, that's just fine. But at least try and understand where I'm coming from. Okay?
Kev. I'm not making fun. People change. You think I grew up wanting to be a cop? Before I married Hunter, I wouldn't have been caught dead in a uniform.
Is that right? What did you want to do?
Please my husband. Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
And after a while, there was a problem. You see, I just started to feel like a not-so-successful decoration. Someone who Hunter would have to bring with him to his Hollywood parties.
Well, you know, a lot of people kill to go to those parties.
They've never been. I would just stand there drinking this designer water, listening to some guy go on about his movie deal or his screenplay, and not once did anybody ever ask me anything about me. It's like I didn't even exist. Even though I wasn't interested in me anymore. And the really low point came when I was shopping at a mall. Shopping was my hobby then. And this guy just grabbed my bag and he took off running, and nobody even bothered to stop him. I didn't exist. And I remember just laying there on this artificial grass, just feeling so helpless and angry. And I decided right then and there that I was never going to be a victim again, so I signed up for a self-defense class and a neighborhood watch program. I took charge. And then, you know, when the inevitable happened and my marriage broke up, I signed up for the police academy. And you know the rest.
Yeah. Well, all except for one thing. Why exactly did your marriage end?
I don't feel like discussing it. Not yet.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Could we just please drop it?
Look, Court, yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I know you're confused and upset.
Upset? Why should I be upset, Tina? Just because the mother of my children runs off and marries a man who's pretending to be her brother?
Shh, please. I wish you hadn't found out that way. But that secret has to stay just that, a secret.
Look, if you think I'm going to keep this dirty little secret...
You have to.
I don't have to do anything, Tina. Not unless you can convince me that this David Vickers is not going to ruin your life. Or our children's.
Just don't, okay? Let me explain.
Do you have the money, or don't you?
No, not yet.
That's not the answer I wanted to hear.
There was an unexpected complication.
What is it?
Dorian, I've got a whole lot to tell you, and you're not going to like most of it, so why don't I start with the good news? Tina and I got married last night.
Larry, ever since Sloan died, there's something different about me. It's like I'm cut off. I'm removed from myself. I mean, you know me as well as anyone. Am I wrong?
No. Look, I expected there to be periods of lethargy and even depression. Yes, you seem to have a pretty severe anxiety going, Vicki.
Can you help me?
You mean medication? Unless you're talking about physical symptoms, but really, I think the best thing for you to do is talk to a psychiatrist.
I have dreams.
What kind of dreams?
They're very upsetting and disturbing. I have this one dream, keeps coming back over and over again. And when I wake up, I'm in such a panic, and I'm so afraid.
Afraid of what?
I'm afraid of the past. I'm afraid of the times that I used to lose control. You know, when something else would take over. Larry, you know what I'm talking about. I'm afraid if the dreams don't stop, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm terrified that I'm going to lose it altogether.
Well, I know we celebrated last night, Hank, but there's no reason why the four of us can't get together and do it again. All right. 30 minutes. Free. Bye-bye. You're sure about this? I mean, you haven't, like, changed your mind or anything, right?
No, not a bit. No. Have you?
I asked you first.
Well, no. Honey, you know, we agreed. I think it's time that we set a wedding date. And, I think we should really make it official. I think we should make a public announcement.
I think so, too. I mean, I thought you were going to say something when we were at Vicky's house, you know, today, to Vicky.
Well, yeah, honey, but, you know, she was dealing with Sloan's death.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to... What'd you think? I got cold feet and I just backed off or something?
Well, I mean, it kind of occurred to me that...
Well, you could have talked to her.
No, it wasn't my place. And besides... You know, she didn't need to hear about how happy I am today. She needed a hug.
Yeah. She's not the only one.
Oh, Bo. I don't know what I'd do if I lost you.
Honey, that's never going to happen. Ever. I mean, you're stuck with me. Forever.
Vice versa. I told Hank and Sheila, you know, 30 minutes. Well, hell with them.
The dream is basically always the same. I'm standing at the top of the staircase with Sloan on the landing, and we're fighting. And then he pushes me, and I fall. I fall all the way down the stairs. And I hear laughing. And then when I look up, Sloan is not there anymore. It was my father. And he's laughing at me, and Dorian is standing next to him, and then she's laughing at me, too.
Honey, take it easy. You don't have to tell me all these details.
Boy, I can't even forget them. You know, some people have to write their dreams down. These are burned in my memory. Anyway, then Irene is there with Father. And she looks exactly like Tina. And he's got his hands all over her. And I go and I try and separate them. And then Dorian is there. And I get so mad at her, I want to kill her, and I try to kill her. But then when I look, it's not Dorian that I killed. It's my father.
You know, I think I can understand some of this. Who has been your nemesis all these years?
Dorian, I guess.
Yeah. So, isn't it logical that Dorian would crop up into your dreams somehow?
But I murdered my father.
But see, dreams aren't logical, Vicky. And remember this, your father is the one who was dead, not Dorian. The emotional memories are somehow merged together, that's all.
But Larry, why did these dreams make me so afraid?
Cord, Okay, this has to stay completely confidential, all right? David did come to Lambview and pretend to be part of the family for his own selfish reasons.
Big surprise. For some get-rich-quick scheme, right?
Yeah, but he got to know me and the family and everybody, Vicky, and he started to care about his family.
His make-believe family, Tina.
No, one thing wasn't make-believe, how he felt about me. That's how he knew he loved me. He told me the truth. I was furious with him. I told him I didn't want to see him again, but the problem was I fell in love with him, too.
Oh, naturally. So you just up and forgave him just like that.
On the condition he'd tell Vicky everything he told me. He had already renounced all claims to Vicky's money, and this would be a whole new start. But then Sloan took a turn for the worse, and Joey got involved with Dorian, and you know how hard that's been on Vicky. In no way can we dump this on her now. Everything I've been telling you is the truth, Cord. You do believe me, don't you?
I would like to believe you, Tina. But I've got this gut instinct that keeps telling me that there's something more to this story. Something that maybe you don't even know about.
There isn't.
Are you sure, Tina? Can you look me in the eye and can you honestly tell me that there is nothing illegal about what is going on with you and David?
Idiot! You run off to Las Vegas, you marry that airhead, and you call it good news?
I told you there was a problem. After I answered all their stupid questions, the bank had one more surprise for me. A blood test.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, well, neither did I till they trotted out the nurse and the needle.
And since you are not Victor's bastard, what did you do?
You know, you've got a real way with words. You know that? What do you think I did? I told them I couldn't stand the sight of blood and got out of there before they could prove I was a phony. Now, do you get it? I'm never going to inherit all those millions, but Tina can. If Victor's son doesn't show up to collect the money, it reverts to Tina, my new bride.
I hate to burst your dreams of a joint bank account, but Tina is never going to claim a dime of that money.
Of course she will. Todd Manning doesn't even know he's the real heir. He's not going to stop her.
He won't have to, because I will.
Get Hank and Sheila coming.
Well, they got a fireplace, too. Maybe they're at home playing toasted marshmallow just like we are. You know? They've got a lot to celebrate, too, thanks to you.
Oh, no. You were the real hero.
I was just doing my job. You're the one who went above and beyond the call of duty. I mean, there's not too many ex-wives that would do something like that for their ex-husbands, you know.
You're not jealous by any chance, are you?
Jealous? Me? No, absolutely not jealous. We're talking about a totally secure guy here.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm talking about me, not Hank.
Oh, you. Oh.
When you and Hank were married, did you two joke around as much as we do? I mean, you know, no jealousy implied. I'm
Yeah, we
asking a question.
We had our share of laughs, you know, still do.
Must have taken something pretty serious to make the laughing stop.
Well, I think it always takes something pretty serious to break up a marriage, especially when there's a child involved.
What was it? What came between you and Hank?
It's just a lot of little things, you know. Just a lot of really foolish little things.
Look, Andy, all I meant was I've been there. You know, after Leanne and I divorced, I felt like a complete failure. In fact, for a long time, I couldn't even talk about it. Every time I saw two happy people on the street, I'd want to turn around and run the other way.
Sometimes I still do.
Well, what can they say, you know? One day, the sight of two happy people doesn't make you upset anymore. Matter of fact, it kind of makes you want to jump back in the game and give it another shot.
Thanks, Kevin.
For what?
Your lucky day, Harrison. The suspect never showed. Captain's calling up the stakeout. Over.
Read you, Mahoney. It's been real. Over. Well, so much for your thrilling introduction to police work.
Well, I'm not complaining. Matter of fact, why don't we do it again? Only listen to the next time. No personal questions. Is that a deal?
Deal.
Okay, officer. Peel out.
In the dream, there's something that is so disturbing and kind of sinister about everything in it. I don't know why that is.
Well, I knew your father pretty well, and as far as his dark side is concerned, sinister is not a bad way to describe it.
I guess.
But there was another side, too, Vicky. I mean, I could see it every time he looked at you and Meredith. He loved you both very much. Especially you. There seemed to be a special closeness between you and your father.
Well, we were very close.
Yeah, that's my beeper.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a call I'm expecting from the hospital. Can I use the phone in the foyer? I'll be right back.
Sure.
David, if Tina comes forward to claim the money, it's the same as admitting that you are a fraud, or else why aren't you claiming it for yourself? The world will know that you are not Victor's son, you're not Vicky's brother, that you are nothing but a liar. And what will they then conclude about the evidence that you brought forward in my behalf? The evidence that got me cleared of Victor's murder, that got me off death row.
Typical. This is all about you.
Be a good boy. Really, kiss the money goodbye. And quietly, unobtrusively leave Landview on the next plane or train or bus.
I'm not going anywhere till I've got what I want.
Will you wake up? You had your shot and you blew it. All right, these things happen.
Well, that's pretty easy for you to say, isn't it? You've already got your share of Victor's millions.
What's money without freedom?
What's freedom without money?
I'll give you $1 million over the next 5 years. Sent to a Swiss bank account or the Cayman Islands or wherever you want it. Tax-free. All you have to do is get out of town now.
No.
David, darling, I don't think you've got much of a choice.
Look, it's a generous offer, don't get me wrong, but it's too late, Dorian. You and Tina and I are not the only people who know that I'm not really a lord. Cord found out last night, and he can't wait to tell Vicky.
Tina, that stupid, babbling bimbo!
Stifle it. It wasn't her fault.
Don't you dare try to defend her. She can't keep a secret any more than she can keep a husband.
She didn't tell him. Cord followed us to Las Vegas last night. He showed up at the wedding chapel just as Elvis was pronouncing us man and wife.
You were married by an Elvis impersonator? I really am dealing with the brain dead here. Where is Cord now?
Tina's with him. She's trying to get him to keep quiet.
Wait a minute, that might work. I mean, they were married once. They have 2 children together. Maybe he'll keep quiet just to protect the children from scandal. Maybe it's not hopeless.
Look, wait. Don't get your hopes up, okay? Because even if Tina buys us some time, I'm still going to tell Vicky and everybody else the truth.
Do you really hate me that much?
I don't hate you, Dorian. I happen to love Tina. I want a life with her. A real life without the lies.
But with all the millions she stands to collect.
You know, I really hope that I'm never as cynical as you.
The prospect of a lethal injection can do that to you. David, look. When Vicky learns that you lied about your paternity, she's going to assume that you lied about everything else. Given her obsession with her father, she is going to insist that they reopen the case. This time, she's not going to stop until she sees me on a stainless steel table with a needle in my arm.
I'm sorry.
That makes everything much better.
Look, I better see how Tina's doing with Cord, okay? We'll talk.
I'm not going back to jail, David. I won't go. I'll die fighting first.
David isn't a criminal. But if you insist on making Vicky miserable by going and telling her, then by all means add insult to... What'd you say?
I said I'm not going to tell her, not yet.
Thank you, Cord. Look, you won't regret not
You know,
telling.
I'm not doing this for you. I agree with you. Right now, Vicky needs some time to mourn Sloan. She doesn't need this too. But I want to ask you something. How do you expect to explain to CJ and Sarah that Mama has just run off and married Uncle David?
They're very bright kids, Cord. They're sensitive. They'll understand. They will.
Tina, these children are not gonna... All right, buddy. All right, look, as I said, I'm not gonna go to Bo and tell him everything I know about this. And I'm not gonna have him drag you and David in and ask you questions because I'm afraid of what's gonna happen to Vicky if that happens. Because right now, she's got enough pain and suffering to go through. But you had better be careful, Tina. Because one more blow might be too much for her to handle.
Oh, God. Oh, God, what's happening to me? God, what's happening to me?